Is this Strictly Come Dancing? I thought this was the...
I feel like it is. It's a great kind of feeling, isn't it? I feel as though we should do a little sachet or something.
I was approached to do Strictly.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Who danced first? I don't know. We'll get round to that one. Welcome to Norfolk.
Thank you very much.
Hello. This is great. This is really cool. I mean, let's just get straight into it then. So, Star Wars. Star Wars is big. Star Wars is kind of one of the biggest things on the planet, in the universe, or something. I'm going to move myself just a little bit this way. There we go.
So the worst seats you could have chosen.
I'm sorry. I just grabbed something from Argos. I was going to go to IKEA, and I'm really sorry.
It's all right. Just a bit short, that's all.
So I can.
No, we're good. I'm very joking.
I can move this down if you want. No, I can't. I can only move upwards. There we go. That's all right. So Star Wars. This is a massive thing, and this is quite an amazing situation because we've got two people here who are almost exclusively under masks in the kind of Star Wars world. How is that?
Well, hello, Jimmy, first of all. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming, sitting very quietly and attentively. I shall be coming amongst you later on to distribute chocolates and gifts and other such things. But Star Wars, yeah, was... we represent the 17 generations of Star Wars players, with me being the 17th and Paul being the number one here, the new blood. The new bloods here, but I suppose it's lasted a few years, hasn't it? Really, most of you weren't born when my movie was made, which was in 1976. I was only 3, but I was very precocious, so I got the job. And George Lucas was only 9 and Harrison Ford was 11, so we were very young when we made the first film. And very lucky to be in it.
And as we were saying, like, yeah, you two have spanned the old and the classic and the new, as it were.
Well, I guess for people who don't know what I do, I mean, obviously Paul was Greedo. I'm a creature before all the new Star Wars films. Basically doing what you were doing 40 years ago, apart from the heads are probably a little bit more complicated in animatronics. But the performing and being in the suits is probably exactly the same experience, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. You're right. I mean, our heads were made from a life mask, which was plaster of Paris stuck over your face with a little India rubber solution, which made the shape of your head. But we didn't have anything like any of the servos inside the masks or any...
So yours was a pull-on mask.
Exactly.
Whereas ours are actually heads that go on with battery packs and cables and all this kind of...
Yeah, we were very lucky.
Right.
In fact, we all thought we were in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, so we couldn't wait to get out of the costumes. But I think it's lasted a few weeks, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. I mean, all of us creature performers on the new films are very much inspired by you guys back then, and we take that into how we perform when we do it now. So.
I think he's being very kind. He means us stumbling around on set, basically swearing at each other a lot, and being far too obnoxious.
I suppose you didn't really know what it was back then, did you really, what was happening?
No, none of us did. I think George Lucas had to have confidence and faith in what he was producing, because most of his life had been pushed into the first movie. Plus, financially, he was committed to it through borrowing the money for the first film. Mind you, it was the only money he ever borrowed, was that first movie. Afterwards, he didn't need to go to the HSBC.
So, because we were saying about how massive this thing is, and obviously you didn't really have an idea about how big it's going to be, and obviously you knew that it was something quite special, but on the other side, Paul, was it a bit daunting to be in something like Star Wars? The first one of the new series as well.
Obviously, you know, we go into it knowing all the history of being fans of it. It's very overwhelming. Well, you know, you've worked on The Last Jedi, so you know everybody who works on these movies feels the same. We're overwhelmed, we're honoured, we're privileged, and we love it. And it's very hard to contain that geek side of you, you know, from coming out. But, you know, everyone's a professional.
Yeah.
But when you see Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford walking on set, just walking over and saying hello, then it becomes very, you know, it got very emotional, but you just, cool.
Yeah. And there is a moment where you kind of have to take yourself to one side and go, this is Star Wars, and I'm here.
It also works the other way as well, because we've got the benefit of when it starts getting really tough, and we're emotionally and physically exhausted from performing in the suits, and you just got to give it that. You just think to yourself, I'm in a Star Wars film. I'm in a Star Wars film. Keep going, keep going. So it gives you that little extra. Yeah.
There was a little bit of that on the very first one, although none of us knew what we were in and what we were doing particularly. Although everyone was pretty professional from a movie that could have just bombed and gone without trace, which none of you or us would ever have seen again if it hadn't been received so successfully. And in fact, the commitment that George made to it was not only directing it, producing it, finding the money for it, was also in inventing industrial light and magic to make the effects work that he was going to have to include, because obviously there were no blaster effects or lightsaber effects or any of that kind. It was all hand done on the day by a pretty talented crew who had no confidence at all in what George was doing and gave him a really hard time in the first 2 or 3 weeks. After that, I think they realised he was pretty cool and knew his own mind. But from Harrison and Carrie and Mark's point of view, they were all just young actors who were unknown here. Alec Guinness was the only big star, and Alec had 40 successful movies prior to doing Star Wars, so George was very conscious of the fact that he had one big name and used him as much as he could.
Absolutely. And then the creatures themselves have become absolute legends as well, and obviously, I mean, Greedo being one of them. Was there any kind of, this is the kind of person, this is the kind of alien, or was it just stick on a mask and kind of go? Was there any?
Well, I was a very precocious young actor, and being very arrogant and just having come from doing a lot of theatre, I actually remember saying to George, how do you want me to play this alien? And he looked at me for about a minute and said, play it like they do in the movies. Which I thought was very good advice, since we were in a movie, and that was the only advice he ever gave any of us.
So then on the flip side, how much direction would you get from either directors or teams about movements?
Yeah, quite a lot. I mean, we were given movement choreographers, so they would basically walk us through what J.J. Abrams, who was the director, wanted. Now, the alien that I play in Force Awakens is based on a very famous Ralph McQuarrie painting. So they're very particular about getting the right pose from this particular 1975 image, which was the original concept for Greedo. You know, the gunslinger, Tucker Chewbacca Greedo concept. And so that was the character they wanted me to play, and I had to perform. So there's a bit of Greedo my character's performance, but I didn't want to be too close.
I'm honoured, Paul.
A little bit, so we've got that kind of connection. And but we actually had earpieces as well inside the helmets, inside the heads, so that the director or the puppeteer who was puppeteering the face could chat to us. We could talk back, but they could shout at us.
Shouty. Because there's quite a lot of people that are involved in your performance, not just you in some of these
things. A puppeteer that would do the face, which would be an animatronic face that would operate the eyes and the nose and the snarl. I'd operate the mouth with my chin, and obviously do the body performance, and the vocal performance as well. They'd mic me up, and they'd record whatever alien dialect I was doing. So there's quite a few people.
Paul was much more professional than I was. All I had to do was stand up. That was about the extent of my performance, basically. And then fall over. That was the other part of my performance.
But you had dialogue, I didn't have dialogue. Mine was just noises.
Yeah. I learned fluent Rhodian for the part, which is a difficult language.
Did you do it in the language or did you do it in English?
Solo.
There you go. This is one of
There we go. Yeah. I have a feeling. Oh no, hang on. No, it's fine. Don't worry, we've still got a couple minutes left. I thought I was going to going over there.
Do we want to let them ask a question, Jimmy?
Absolutely, yes.
Maybe they don't want to ask any questions, but who knows? Does anybody have a question? A gentleman there.
We have a question down there. Oh, you should. Here we go.
He's done this before.
I need the exercise.
Who shot first?
I've come down here for that, for heaven's sake. Look, if I'd shot first, I would have run off with Princess Leia, defeated Darth Vader, be living in the Death Star in the penthouse suite just opposite his main room. I would have killed Jar Jar Binks, eaten all the Ewoks because they're very tasty roasted. So I should have shot first. What do you think?
Well, that would have been a better movie.
I know he's changed it 2 or 3 times now, and what's wonderful is that everybody I meet has an opinion about it. Everybody across the world. I was in Moscow 6 months ago, and everybody in Moscow had an opinion. Who shot first? Who shot first? You did. No, he shot first. But everybody has an opinion, so I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very grateful for the question. It's brilliant.
Can I just say that Greedo was actually my favourite character and the first figure I ever bought?
Thank you, Dad. You're very kind. Thank you very much. Anybody else with a question other than who shot first? He did, by the way. That's the truth. In the original script, it was only one shot, and that was him.
There were a few more questions that were over in this section, I think.
Anybody over here?
There were more arms that popped up there. Where are they all gone?
They've all gone. They're all shot now. Never
What
mind.
happened there? Well, that's fine. I didn't. For those who were here last year, some of you might remember. Oh, hello. Mother? What happened there? So some of you who were here last year, you might have remembered my Cards of Doom, a whole selection of multicolored questions, which, if you wish, we can pick out one of these beautiful questions we're going to have here. These are a whole selection of weird questions.
Like a random.
I'm just gonna, if you're up for this, okay. Can you take the first one?
Then take a card, any card.
Both of us?
Absolutely, yeah.
What are you afraid of?
This is a question, ladies and gentlemen, saying, what are you afraid of? Spiders.
Not being in the next Star Wars.
And on that subject, is there anything that you can tell us about?
Nothing. But it's the biggest fear, because this, I think it's a misconception that people think if you've done one Star Wars film, then you get to do all of them. It's not how it works, you know. It's all about if you're right for the characters that they're making, and so after every single film, we're all sitting there with our fingers crossed, hoping that we get the phone call. But who knows? Hopefully.
Because it is, I mean,
Not working is probably the biggest fear you have as an actor. So that's probably...
As any freelancer. But as far as that's concerned, it isn't just a whole bunch of people that you kind of pull out and go, yeah, we can stick masks on them. You are cast for a specific part for your shape.
Well, as you know, Neil Scanlon and the team there, and what they do is they have a pool of people and performers that they got on the first film, and obviously it's got bigger since then. And they have circus performers, contortionists, models, stilt walkers, creature performers like myself, stage actors, everybody so that everyone brings a different kind of skill set to a creature or a performer. Then they design the characters, and then Neil will then go through and select who he thinks will be good in that character. So if there's something for you, then great. If there isn't, maybe next time.
Yeah. And as you're saying that, there is your movement coach, as it were, but also main creature performer as well.
Yes.
I've just completely forgotten. I completely... I blanked as well.
Casey.
Paul Casey, of course. Paul Casey, some of you might remember from Doctor Who. He's been in
everything.
Pretty much everything, but also a huge amount of Doctor Who as well.
Yeah, he's played lots of Force Awakens and Last Jedi characters. Very good movement choreography.
And obviously the characters and the movement is all based around your movement and also your...
Yeah, he'll play to your strengths and your weaknesses, and also when you're in a costume, I made the mistake when I first started doing this. I would spend weeks doing the character, doing the movement, and then they put you in the suit and you can't do any of it. So you have to start again. So Neil actually said to us on set, he said, whatever you can't do, use it. Use it in the character, use it as part of the performance. So if you can't walk properly, then your character can't walk properly or whatever. If it's heavy and you're slouching, then use the slouch. Anything that you can use around. Because the suits are very big and clumsy, they can be.
It's quite amazing stuff. It really is, and I can't quite vocalise how amazing it is to kind of have two people that are kind of spanning those kind of years of Star Wars in doing exactly the same thing.
Yes, who'd have thought 40 years we'd still be here. 40 years.
But also thank the Lords that we're still having creatures and kind of practical creature effects, and that they didn't just go completely CG, because there's always that balance of everything has to go CG, or no, we really should have some real things as well, because as far as, hopefully all of you out there as well might like the fact that you do have real things on screen, real actors in costumes and masks and working these creatures.
Well, for The Force Awakens, they had over 100 practical creatures. I don't know if you saw all of them on screen, but they built 100 creatures.
Some of them are just kind of texture, but that's the level of detail that...
They're also popping up in the new films as well, aren't they? I don't know if you realise that every film, if one doesn't get used or doesn't get enough screen time, then it will end up in Solo or Rogue One or whatever, so they're getting used at some point.
There's 4 or 5 characters that I seem to remember that were moved from one film to another because they were able to be kind of in the kind of pitch for the next film. The team will go, we made these 3 characters that weren't used, they're going to be no cost to you.
Also different directors as well, so they can, maybe one director didn't like a certain thing and then the new director comes in and there's no, what about this guy?
Yeah, there's all of these people. I fear, I never watched, this is nonsense. I do feel that we're at the end of our little chat here. Thank you so much for this. This is wonderful, and to kick off Norcon 2018. Thank you so much for the chat.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for listening.
And thank you for